Hey everybody, Ben here for the Bonehead podcast and welcome to Start Player Spotlight. We are looking at all of the stars that have been revealed in the Blood Bowl 2020 rulebook. We're looking at their stats, their skills, their costs and their brand new special abilities. And today we are looking at the most famous dwarf of all time, the White Dwarf himself. So the White Dwarf has forever been a leader. He's turned up when you've needed him. He's delivered justice. He's been there to bring beer most often. And now he's got loads of teams. So I think we briefly saw him before, but it was a special thing. You had to take the Black Gobbo. Didn't really get just no. He's got very interesting. He is a support piece, which is probably one of the few builds I've seen where that is true. It's really nice to see. Some kind of combo skill set go. Anyway, he can be taken on Dwarf, Halfling, Human, Imperial Nobility, Ogre, Old World Alliance, and Lizardman, because he can play for 4 different special skills. Historically, I think he might have just been Dwarf, might have just been good, like the classic good teams. Now you've got a support piece that can be taken in a bunch of builds. So the White Dwarf on your team, on your pitch, he comes in at 210,000, which is on the lower end of star players for the Blood Bowl 2020 edition. Top, we've seen 340, bottom 140, so the White Dwarf is another lower end of mid-range kind of star player. This is the kind of one you can see yourself taking. Now with that team list that we just saw, there's quite a lot of teams that are going to be able to have petty cash, to fit him in. But also, you can build around him if you want to for a tournament or something like that. That 210 means at a 1200 TV tournament, 1250, 1150, you can afford him in several of these teams. But why would you? Movement 5, average. Strength 3, average. AG 3+, average. Passing 4+. I want to say average, but it might actually be better than average now, but anyway. AV 10+, good for a dwarf. So, 210, he comes with block, dauntless, Loner 4+, which is ordinary, Mighty Blow +1, Stand Firm, and Thick Skull. So you're thinking, I've paid 210 for a fast dwarf blocker? I've paid 210 for a blitzer. I've got a dwarf blitzer here, who comes with Dauntless, Mighty Blow, Stand Firm. I've got a level 4 blitzer. Okay, level 4 blitzer is going to set you back, what? Let's say the ordinary skill up's 140k? Okay, he's got Loner 4+, that's not so good. So you can take the White Dwarf. He is not as strong as you want him to be, but he will, straight off the bat, deliver dwarf just consistency, okay? That's the bottom line, okay? That's your floor. The interesting element here with the White Dwarf comes with this skill, Wisdom of the White Dwarf. Once per team turn, when one of Grombrindle's teammates that is in an adjacent square is activated, that player gains either Break Tackle, Dauntless, Mighty Blow +1, or Sure Feet until the end of their activation. So if you have got the White Dwarf, if you've got Grombrindle next door to any of your other players, one of them every turn gets one of those skills. So let's talk through the skills they can take. Break Tackle. It gives +1 to dodging now if you are strength 4 or less. So that makes all of your blockers edge 3+. It makes a runner or a blitzer edge 2+. So if you are a dwarf coach and you need a bit of mobility, you're going to be able to use that break tackle to get you basically +1 agility for the turn to take that dodge away. That could be massive because you are probably better off doing that than you would be doing any kind of handoff shenanigans with a dwarf team. Okay, he doesn't only play with dwarves, so break tackle could also be useful for any one of those lists, any one of those teams listed that has a big guy. Alright, halflings, trees, ogres, humans, ogres, Imperial Nobility, ogres, Old World Alliance, ogres. So break tackle is going to be useful whether you've got a big guy or a little guy, because it's at least +1 to the dodge. Ogre's going to be dodging on a 2+, everybody else is basically going to be dodging on a 2+ as well with break tackle. Could be very useful if you want to go for a suicide rush into a cage. More likely to be used to help get your ball carrier or a key blitz or something loose. So, break tackle, pretty useful. What else? Dauntless. He's got Dauntless himself. Okay, Dauntless Mighty Blow +1, so you get to choose one of those. It's a freebie, guys. This is once per turn. This is not once per game. This is every turn somebody next to him gets either Dauntless to take on a big guy or gets Mighty Blow. Personally, I think it's going to be a case of the White Dwarf with Block, Dauntless, Mighty Blow teams up with another one of your blitzers. Maybe someone with Frenzy. Maybe someone who, I don't know, doesn't have Block but does have Mighty Blow. One of your big guys. For example, you know, I don't know, any Dwarf player, any human blitzer, being able to give him that Mighty Blow +1 plus his Mighty Blow +1, you're just going to be farming out hurt. And I don't think that's bad at all. It's like Mighty Blow Guard, isn't it? It's like, you know, I stand near you, you get Mighty Blow. That is pretty... I'm on board with that. Sure Feet as well, like we said, if you've got Break Tackle to help you dodge away, Sure Feet can help make sure that you are just going to make those extra 2 squares. I played a game with Dwarves last week with Ian, and Sure Feet would have saved a very interesting play. I wish I'd had the White Dwarf on that Dwarf team. Dwarf teams are great. The White Dwarf, stats-wise, doesn't look superb. But that mixture of abilities just makes your lineman better. It makes your anybody better. Because you're getting Sure Feet if you're dodgy. You're getting Break Tackle if you're dodgy, or if you're strengthy. You've got Mighty Blow if you're strengthy. I think there's one more. Oh, Dauntless if you're mad. Plus, you get a boosted Dwarf Blitzer. So let's do the maths here. Lord Borat comes with half a reroll. Okay, he comes with half a leader reroll. That's 50k. The Dwarf of White Dwarfs here, 160k for a Blitzer with these skills. Plus, he gets this boon effect, which I would pay 50k for. I would 100% pay 50k to give one of my players the ability to just farm off a skill each turn. And depending on what it is, I don't know, you guys have probably played Mario Kart. There's that boost box that you get a bit of everything and you go around and you just smash the button to make them all happen at once. White Dwarf. Let's have a look at the miniatures. So the Forge World one is a really interesting one, because it's not just the White Dwarf. So we always talk about Forge World, we always talk about the prices being high, so 20 something pounds for postage. You can pick up Grombrindle from the Forge World. From Forge World for 20 something pound with postage, and he comes with the free Black Gobbo. So you get 2 stars that cover almost all of the teams. I think the Undead guys can't take either, because apparently Games Workshop is hating on Undead at the moment. Or, spoilers, potential spoilers, there. You know, one of the first things we get for Blood Bowl 2020 is going to be some star players for Undead. Like, that's pure speculation, but I would like that very much, please, Games Workshop. Forge World, £20. Black Gobbo, White Dwarf, £10 each. Really good models. I'm not even going to suggest any other models. If you want a different model for the White Dwarf, you can do what Rich Saxby's done and just track down a Dwarf lineman from another range. So we've looked at the Fanath Dwarfs before. Just any Dwarf general or big lineman or any imposing Dwarf that you can paint with a white beard and white hair. Resist the urge to paint him as Father Christmas, Santa Claus. And he will be just what you need to represent the White Dwarf on the tabletop. So to wrap up with the White Dwarf, for 210k, you don't get a lot of stats. You get plenty of skills, and he will be solid. If I could get this Dwarf for 150, 160k as a star player, yeah, I could chuck him in the lineup as a third Blitzer. Okay, Edge 3+, he's got Loner, which is not great, but the third Blitzer is not bad. The Wisdom of the White Dwarf, I think, is going to be an underrated skill. And I really hope we see more star players that have that kind of effect. It's going to be really interesting. And the White Dwarf is just going to make your team better. We talk about that with star players. Does he make your team better or does he score? A White Dwarf is not going to be scoring. The White Dwarf is going to be standing next to somebody else. And they are both going to be Mighty Blow blocking people to death. But you also have that check down opportunity of giving the Ogre Break Tackle, you know, giving one of your linemen Mighty Blow and just grinding the casualties. The White Dwarf is a cool bit of design. Do not underestimate him, and really give him the chance, because I would have loved to have him when I was playing Dwarves. And he can be taken on any team, so loads of potential there. I am remarkably excited about this guy. And I am impressed with that, because I looked at the stats and thought, Just take Grim, he's 10k cheaper and strength 4. Yeah, but Grim doesn't make your other players better. The White Dwarf will. Anyway, that wraps up this video. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think of the White Dwarf and this kind of skill. I think it's interesting. Be interesting to know what you guys think yourselves, and we will be back tomorrow with more Star Players. Thanks for watching.